This comment best summarizes what we're going to be talking about today. Star Wars in 2005, every background character gets an action figure and a backstory. Whereas Star Wars in 2026, you want to know his name? His name is Don't Worry About It. So hello there my dear friends, and welcome back to another Star Wars video. I hope you're having an awesome day wherever you are in this galaxy, and today we're going to be talking about something which is a bit more contentious. Some fans might say it doesn't matter, you're making a mountain out of a molehill, and in the grand scheme of things, isn't a very big deal. Whereas other fans will understand why this is important. Anytime the subject of Star Wars continuity comes up, it really divides fans, and it shows different fan priorities. You have some folks who don't care what's canon and what's not. They don't care about the additional lore aspects of the Star Wars universe. And you know what? That's fine. Everyone expresses their Star Wars love, passion, and interest in a different way, whereas others make Star Wars lore their entire hobby. It's their fandom love language, so to speak. But I do notice this divide, not just as a Star Wars fan, but also as a content creator. Whenever we've spoken about Disney retcons, canon versus legends, Dave Filoni's comments on it, there is no universal consensus, and I expect much the same on a video like this. So what are we talking about? A really bizarre and baffling decision by Lucasfilm. Star Wars visual guides have always been a staple of extended and additional lore. They were the go-to books for key information about new releases, background characters, species, vehicles, locations, you name it. And for decades they've been a strong and proud Lucasfilm tradition. Growing up, I remember being obsessed with the prequel visual guides, and filling my brain with all the juicy gems they contained. And granted, not all of the info was deep, but they've always been super fun, and Lucasfilm took them seriously. And even in recent years under Disney, they've provided some really cool insights and character information for the spin-offs, Rogue One and Solo, and the TV shows. But the latest offering, as of March of 2026, is one which fans had been looking forward to for months. The ultimate Mandalorian visual guide. An all-encompassing detailed guide to all 3 seasons. And the reason this was such a big deal for fans is because it was going to be a Mando Bible of sorts. While there were shorter guides for the first 2 seasons and Book of Boba Fett, this one was going to answer some of our lingering questions. It was set to be the definitive source for all things Mando. Whether you're starting the show for the first time, or you're doing a rewatch and you're curious to find out information about a specific character, location, or general episode. And in the preview pages of said guide, it looked as though we were about to finally get the names of unidentified characters and species. For instance, they hinted at the name of the Gozanti freighter captain from Chapter 11, or another example is the female Snivian bartender from Season 3. And so alas, over the last couple of days, fans have been receiving their copies a week early, and many were excited to share what they had found on social media. But unfortunately, my dear friends, this enthusiasm would be very short-lived, because to the confusion of everyone, Lucasfilm messed up. They've gone back on the reveals they promised. They removed the names of hundreds of characters that were teased in the preview pages. Instead of giving us those specific character names, they've reverted them to the generic role they played in the show. So for instance, the aforementioned Gozanti freighter captain was going to be named Captain Tribus, but this has been redacted and he's now just Gozanti freighter captain. Bizarrely though, his name does appear in another section later in the book, but not in the character profile, which makes no sense. Similarly, the Snivian bartender I mentioned was about to be named Ankifo, but they removed this. And even Moff Gideon's ship has been stripped of its unique identity. It's a baffling and bizarre choice. More examples include the species of some of Gorian Shard's pirates, and a couple of the Jedi from Grogu's Order 66 flashback. Although I have to admit, it's pretty awesome this guy is confirmed to be a Miri Allen, like Barriss and Luminara. He is one of the Jedi that protected Grogu before taking him to Kelleran. But I will just say this, because I do get criticized sometimes for being too negative or whatever, the costumes revealed in this book are pretty darn awesome. The Mandalorian is one of my favorite shows, do not get it mistaken. But when they do stuff like this, especially when they already printed a version with the actual names, it is frustrating. I really hope this is rectified, and it's just some kind of first wave printing mistake. These things can occur. In my opinion though guys, the most outrageous change is the name of Grief Karga's protocol droid. There is no reason for this, it's so uncalled for, and I can't believe they went ahead with it. They did this for the recent Disney line of droid figures too. Originally, the droid was going to be called CW24, a lovely tribute to Carl Weathers and the year of his death. But inexplicably, Lucasfilm changed the droid's name to CU-28. Absolutely senseless. The part I don't understand is that this guide was written by Pablo Hidalgo. He's a bit of a controversial figure for a lot of fans, but generally he's been very consistent with his chronicling of Star Wars lore in books. Maybe they need someone like Ryder Wyndham to come back. He was like the main guy when it came to Star Wars visual guides, and authored over 60 books in the Star Wars universe. From 1994 to 2019, so still relatively recently, he was Lucasfilm's go-to writer for character profiles and visual guides, and they could really use him for the post-Disney Plus content. It's stuff like this that makes a lot of fans take the newer continuity less seriously. It's why a lot of people stopped reading the comics. They just felt like Lucasfilm doesn't put as much care into these stories anymore, so why bother? When they retcon stuff all the time, when they can't even explain their own characters, why should we even start? And the Mandoverse already has issues in terms of consistent timelines. For a while they insisted that every season and every spin-off was in the same year, which doesn't make a lick of sense. But now Lucasfilm is refusing to give us concrete information about characters we're supposed to take seriously. It's kind of messy and a bit unprofessional. But if you're a Star Wars fan who believes that all aspects of established canon are worth being pedantic about, then there's no reason why visual guides should not be regarded in the same way, as important, additional reading material. If it mattered in the George Lucas days, it should matter now. And ironically, my friends, and I can't believe I'm saying this, the best and most expansive Star Wars visual guides from the last few years is the one for The Acolyte, a series I'm not even a big fan of. In a strange way, the cancellation of that show helped the writers of it to be more conclusive. It was well structured, detailed, gave us answers, but still, whether it's the movies or the shows, these kinds of books have always served to explain what wasn't explicitly mentioned on screen. They're supposed to give the stories depth, fleshing out the world building, and really giving us a who's who of the Star Wars universe. And you'd expect better for a guide for Star Wars' flagship TV show. The Mandalorian visual guide should be exactly that. You see someone on screen, you go to the book, you look them up, and you're given supplementary information about them. I mean, the guide's description literally says, discover the world of the Mandalorian, the hidden gadgets of Din Djarin, the iconic child Grogu, secrets of the Mandalorian Code, and the workings of the Razor Crest, meet the deadly Fennec Shand and the ruthless Moff Gideon, and much more, packed with fascinating new insights and exclusive imagery. These kinds of guides, especially those that are longer, 200 pages plus, should at the very least give you the names of characters who played a part. I've not received my copy yet, but I've also seen fans complain there is not much on season 3. The focus is the first 2 seasons, which in my opinion, if I'm being biased, are the best of Mando, but they should treat every season equally. This is why a lot of fans felt as though the Star Wars universe under George was much more expansive and had more intricacy. Every background character had a backstory and an established life of their own. But what do you guys think? As I said, you might disagree with me on this, but it was a topic making the rounds on Star Wars social media, and so, if it's relevant, I'm gonna cover it. I personally think it's really silly someone like Frog Lady is still called, well, Frog Lady. She deserves a proper name. But what do you guys think? Share your thoughts on all of today's news in the comments down below, and if you enjoyed this one, please be sure to give me a big fat thumbs up, subscribe if you're new, and may the Force be with you, always.